Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are, hello. Thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's May 23rd, 2009. Shortly, bad things are going to start happening. But before we get to that, here's a few news stories from across the pond. Over in England, the FSA, Financial Services Authority, mulls more data on bank bailouts. Now, there's a story here in the Telegraph. There was an opposing story in the Independent this morning. Basically, one is claiming that the FSA is thinking about releasing the bank stress tests, details of, and the Independent saying, no, they're not actually going to release any details. What they may release, however, is the criteria that was used to measure the various banks in England's ability to survive any kind of economic downturn. Now, of course, General Motors over here in Canada and in the States, currently they're thinking, oh gosh, we're probably going to have to go bankrupt. Over in Europe, General Motors Europe, otherwise known as Opel in most of Europe, or Vauxhall in the United Kingdom, looks to be sold to a Canadian company called Magna. And now, Magna was originally a car parts company. Anyway, yeah, okay, that's what cars are made of, parts. So, however, if Magna does actually get the deal, more than likely they will keep the factories going in Germany, and the factories in the United Kingdom will sadly mostly close. Goodbye to automobile production in the UK. Bad enough Ford closed Dagenham so many years ago. Vauxhall's going to do the same thing. Now, why is this? It's getting really, really bad now. Car production dives 55% in the United Kingdom. Article linked from the Independent. That side? See, I'm getting confused now. Maybe it's that side. I don't know. Can't remember anymore. It's been so long since I did a video. What else is happening in the UK auto market? Well, Honda basically closed their car production till June. And in an effort to restart the automobile industry over there, Honda has gone to its workers and said, please take a pay cut. And so the workers at Honda have agreed to a 3% pay cut. Now, something you should know about. If you think about this, this is one of these, starting wheels of a whole deflationary cycle. Prices drop, income drops, in turn prices drop, income drops, etc., etc., etc. And at the same time, you have an inflationary cycle on monetary policy going on. Looks vaguely familiar to something that happened in the 30s, but we won't go there. HSBC warns branch network uneconomic. Has admitted that running a major network of high street retail branches in the UK no longer stacks up economically. So basically, they're going to cut 1,500 of their staff in the UK. Yes. So, and more than likely they will continue to cut. Consumer spending falls at fastest rate since 1980. The general GDP fell 1.9% in the first 3 months of the year. Pretty close to 2%. So we're averaging out, I think right now we're at about 4% drop, 4.5% drop. Yeah, 4.1%. It's going to get worse in the UK. Now, of course, what does this all mean to us? Britain looks to the land of the rising sun with envy. Ambrose Evans Pritchard basically compare and contrast what was happening in Japan and what's happening in the UK right now. And they are entirely different beasts. Don't be surprised if the UK's credit rating gets cut. Finally, over in the States, tax revenue. Now, I did warn you about this. Tax revenue in April should be quite high. This is technically when a lot of people have to pay their taxes, and a lot of people who would file quarterly or annually will send their money in. And so historically, April is when the government gets most of its money. Now, last April, 2008, the government received roughly $404 billion worth of tax revenue from the United States citizens. This year, the federal government received $266 billion of revenue. A stunning decline of 34%. In turn, this also means that the deficit is now climbing quite dramatically, with the year-to-date deficit currently at $802 billion, which is roughly 75% of the year-to-date revenue. Where's all the money going? Remember that thing called TARP, TALF, and all these other little bailout things? Has to be accounted for somewhere. Linked an article here, Tanking Tax Revenue and What It Means for the US Economy. Now, they use slightly different numbers. They're basically looking at an average of, the start of the year, comparing that. So they basically say that, there's been a decline of roughly 20% or something, right? Oh no, they're saying a decline of 30%. Okay, well, it's pretty close. It's getting there pretty good. Yep. However, they're also saying there that, basically during the Depression, tax revenue fell something in the order of 54%. So part of the problem was that. But of course, what's the implications for all of this? Well, the first thing is it's going to be bad. Their deficit is going to increase dramatically. I mean, the official report they're mentioning here says that, the deficit should be around $1.2 trillion in 2009. You've already exceeded that, and more than likely will be close to $3 trillion by the time the end of the year rolls around in October, or September rather. What's this going to do? Dollar under pressure as fears grow over America's AAA rating. People are beginning to figure out, around the world, that the government of the United States is spending more money than it can ever possibly get. And the deficit is going to exceed the gross domestic product of the United States pretty darn soon. Never mind all the bolt-on stuff, the Medicare and Social Security and all that fun stuff. So I've included a link here to the release from the Treasury Department's it's the Office of Financial Management Service. Financial Mismanagement Service, perhaps. And I've also included a link to that article. Bloomberg had a similar article. Dollar is dirt, Treasuries are toast, AAA is gone. Commentary by Mark Gilbert. So, what's this all going to mean? Well, article published in the Times today. Quite telling. Professor Robert Shiller warns Britain may suffer a double recession. Well, at least someone's telling them. At least someone's out there trying to tell the public that things are going to get worse. As very similar to what happened in the 30s in North America. So, finish off the report on a light note. Durex. Durex, manufacturer of primarily condoms, but many other things, apparently has a new line, Durex Play. And to advertise it, they have a new set of commercials, advertisements. Some of them are quite funny. I'll just leave it at that. And you can watch the video. I would suggest you watch it after the kids have gone to bed. Peace, love, understanding, think about things. And I'll be back as soon as I can. Bye.